Hello, hello. Welcome again, class 654. My God, I'm anxious, I'm eager, I'm anxious to finish. You know, we're on paragraph. I'm going to do paragraphs today. The famous, infamous paragraphs. I'm going to try to reach paragraph 150 because I want to finish these silly paragraphs. There are 198. Today is paragraph 148. So when I finish this paragraph 148, that means we have exactly 50 paragraphs left. But I'm going to try to complete 3 paragraphs today. Okay? You and me, accomplices in this. Are you ready to listen? Then listen. Paragraph 148. I'd like to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind. I'm sure it's not a problem for you to stay a few more minutes. The job we offer is very important and we have to be completely sure before choosing a candidate. Okay. This is a meeting. This is a job interview. It's a job interview. What's interesting about this job interview is that the interviewer is the person who conducts the interview. The interviewee is the person who is being interviewed. And I get the impression, no, it's sure that this is a job interview. Okay. Now, the interviewer, the member of the company, is talking to the interviewee. And what's interesting here is the interviewer is asking the interviewee to stay a few more minutes. That's an interesting statement. All right, but let's listen to it again. I'd like to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind. I'd like to ask you. I'd like. I don't recommend foreign people to try to emulate the contraction I would, I'd. Especially Spanish-speaking people because they can't make that sound. I'd, d. They say I'd. No, I'd like. And in fact, native people, when we speak quickly or normally, we don't say I'd like. We say I'd like. It's a strange sound back here, I'd like. So I recommend I would like. When you're speaking, I would like. But these paragraphs are listening comprehension exercises, not speaking. I'd like to ask you. Ask you. I'd like to ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind. Si no te importa. You don't mind, right? No? I'd like to ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind. I'm sure it's not a problem for you to stay a few more minutes. I'm sure it's not a problem for you to stay a few more minutes. Stay just a little bit longer. Baby, please, please, please stay a little bit longer. But this is not a sentimental or a love story. This is a job interview. I'd like to ask you. I'd like to ask you. Fíjate cómo se enlaza, ask you. Ask him, ask her, ask you. I'd like to ask us. Ask you. I'd like to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind. I'm sure it's not a problem for you to stay a few more minutes. The job we offer is very important. And we have to be, the company, we have to be completely sure before choosing a candidate. We have to be completely sure before choosing a candidate. I agree. In a company, recruitment is, for me, perhaps the most important task. If you recruit really good people, if you know how to recognize the values of that person and the profiles that you need, and you recruit really well, the likelihood that the company will be successful is much higher, is much greater. So for me, recruitment is more important, much more important than training. If you recruit well, training is not as critical. And training is very effective if you recruit good quality, if you recruit good raw material. Buena materia prima se transforma en producto terminado bueno. All right. So, good raw material, then you can have good finished products. And so training, the transformation, is very effective. If you recruit poorly, you can train forever until the judgment day, el día del juicio final. Decimos el día del juicio, no decimos final. In English, the judgment day. The judgment day, not the final judgment day. And we can, if you recruit mediocrity, you can train these people until the judgment day, and they will be mediocrity plus one. All right? So you need to recruit. And this, so I'd like to ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind. Esta frase memorízala y repítela. I would like. You don't need to make the contraction. I would like to ask you, pero enlaza con el ask you, I would like to ask you a few more questions, a few more questions, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. I'm sure it's not a problem for you. I'm sure. La S de sure es como SH realmente. I'm sure it's not a problem for you to stay a few more minutes. The job we offer, or the job we are offering, presente continuo nos vale también. The job we offer is very, con V, very important. And we have to be sure, we have to be completely sure, before choosing, antes de elegir, antes de eligiendo en inglés, before choosing a candidate. There are two pronunciations for candidate. Candidate and candidate. Well, Richard, which one do you use? The candidates? You know, I think, because usually I don't stop to analyze my own speech. I think when I'm talking to other natives, I say candidate. But when I'm teaching, I say candidate. I like it better, but I don't say it. All right. Paragraph 149. Are you ready? 149. This is a silly paragraph. ¿Debería lo salto? Párrafo tonto, Marta. No. Nah. I oversleep for three reasons. Mainly. One is when I forget to set the alarm the night before. Another is when I reach over and turn it off and then go back to sleep without realizing it. The most common reason, however, is when the alarm clock simply doesn't go off. I've had it fixed 3 times, but it still can't be trusted. This is a difficult paragraph. And this paragraph is not true in my case. I oversleep. To oversleep is que se te pegan las sábanas. Yeah? To oversleep. Sobredormir. He sobredormido anoche. Así en inglés. I overslept yesterday. I woke up and said, oh, my God, hurry. The last time that happened to me was maybe 10 years ago. I don't oversleep. I oversleep, pero supongamos que sí. I oversleep for 3 reasons mainly, principalmente. For 3 reasons. One is when I forget to set the alarm the night before. You know, he said, okay, set. All right. But then I forget. The next day, I forget to set the alarm the night before. Another is when I reach over and turn it off and then go back to sleep without realizing it. Okay? But you know they have the snooze. Snooze? You have snooze on yours? And 5 minutes later or 3 minutes later, Again. No. When you reach my age, it's very easy to get up. In fact, at my age, normally you wake up 20, 30, 40 minutes before the alarm. And then you have a dilemma, Should I get up? Or should I try to get a few more minutes of sleep? All right. My recommendation is to get up. All right. But you see, I'm a different case. I mean, the mornings for me, first thing, is a ritual. I get up an hour before I need to leave. I get up an hour and 10 minutes before I need to leave home. So I have plenty of time. It takes me 5 minutes to take a shower and 5 minutes to dress. So I only need 10 minutes, really. So the hour before, I have a slow coffee and I catch up. Me pongo al día, fíjate cómo lo digo, I catch up. Catch up is alcanzar el ritmo establecido. Catch up. Yes, but also para ponerte al día. I catch up on the news in the United States and Spain, and world news, Spanish news, American news. All right. But here, this person has a problem. This person sometimes oversleeps. And he says, I oversleep for 3 reasons mainly. One is when I forget to set, S-E-T. Set is fijarla, el despertador, ponerlo. One is when I forget to set the alarm the night before. Another is when I reach over, and turn it off, and then go back to sleep without realizing it, sin darme cuenta de ello. Hay que poner el it. En español puedes decir sin darme cuenta. En inglés, sin darme cuenta de ello. Without realizing it. Yes. The most common reason, common. Yeah, tout en common. All right, the most common reason, however, is when the alarm clock simply doesn't go off. Yes. I've had it fixed 3 times. Lo he llevado para que lo reparasen. I've had it fixed. Lo he encargado para que se repare. I have had, con el verbo to have, I have had it fixed, repaired 3 times. But it still can't be trusted. No es de fiar. Aún sigue siendo sin fiar. It's still, bueno, es un reloj. No es it's not a telephone, it's an alarm clock. So, it can't be trusted. She can't be trusted. He can't be trusted. Can you be trusted? You can't be trusted. Curiosa forma en inglés de decir, no se puede fiar de él. Decimos solo, you can't trust him. No puedes fiarte, no te puedes fiar de él, cuidado. You can't trust him. Active voice, beautiful, perfectly correct. But for some crazy reason in English, probably 60% of the time we use the passive voice. He can't be trusted. Él no puede ser fiado, literalmente. He can't be trusted. She can't be trusted. Yeah. The alarm clock can't be trusted. It can't be trusted. See? So we use it in the passive voice, but don't worry. I recommend you use the active voice. I can't trust it. It can't be trusted. So one more time. I oversleep for 3 reasons mainly. One is when I forget to set the alarm the night before. The alarm or the alarm clock. You can say both. Poner la alarma. Dice aquí despertador, we say alarma. Okay, one is when I forget to set the alarm the night before. Another is when I reach over and turn it off. Turn it off. and then go back to sleep without realizing it. And then go back to sleep with it. The most common reason, however, is when the alarm clock simply doesn't go off. To go off. To go off has two meanings. To go off is marcharse alejándose uno. To go off. Se aleja el vaquero héroe en la puesta del sol. To go off in the sunset. All right. Happy trails to you. To go off. But to go off también es estallar. The bomb. You can say the bomb exploded. Yesterday, a bomb exploded in this office. That's correct English, but we usually don't say it. Yesterday, a bomb went off. Well, for example, yesterday we found a bomb under the table here. Marta and I said, Marta says, ¿esto qué? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. Parece una bomba de relojería. It looks like a time bomb. Time bomb. Pues llamemos a Julio. Julio's el teclas. He's the master of electricity and electronics. So we call Julio. And he says, pues sí, es una bomba. It's a time bomb. Decimos time, de tiempo, time, hora, time bomb for the relojería. It's interesting, bomba de relojería. Whoa, that's a complicated technical expression. Time bomb, a time bomb. And so Julio managed to deactivate it. I mean, he's a genius. Remember Marta yesterday, Julio deactivated the bomb. All right. The bomb didn't go off. Thank God. Así se dice, it didn't go off. También se puede decir the bomb didn't explode, explosionar, no explosionó. But we never say that really. We say the bomb didn't go off. To go off. Y para los despertadores decimos go off. Porque la sensación es de que hay una bomba estallando por la mañana. Oh, tengo que despertarme. Because originally, the original alarm clocks from 50 years ago, it already gave you a nervous rush at the beginning. So in this case, he says, the most common reason, however, is when the alarm clock simply doesn't go off. It doesn't ring. But we usually don't say ring, we say to go off. My alarm clock didn't go off this morning. I've had it fixed. I've had it fixed 3 times. I have had it fixed 3 times. But it still can't be trusted. It can't be trusted. That's not my case. However, many years ago, I put the alarm clock in the bathroom. Yeah. I didn't put the alarm clock on the bedside table. The night table, the bedside table. I put it in the bathroom. You see, I had an adjoining bathroom to my bedroom. So when the alarm clock went off, to turn it off, I had to get up and walk 3 paces to the bathroom, turn it off. But I was up on my feet. So in that case, you usually don't go back to bed, all right? So, and that was the case. But now, as I've told you, I have a coffee maker. And the coffee, you know that? Yeah, I have a coffee maker. Yeah, filter, the traditional coffee maker. It starts making coffee. I said, wow. And it wakes me up softly, gently, and I can start to smell the aroma of the coffee. And it's in the bathroom, and the bathroom door's open. So I can hear it. I can hear it, I can smell it. And so it's a good way. Then the alarm on my telephone is set for 5 minutes later, just in case. Why? Because during the night, the electricity can go out, you see. Even if the electricity goes out for 5 seconds and comes back on, it changes the timer of the clock. And so it doesn't, vuelve a cero, the alarm clock setting. And so I always have a backup plan. Okay, plan de respaldo. Do you have a backup plan in your life? All right, so let's go on to paragraph. How much time, Marta? All right, paragraph 150. Finally, my God, we're going to finish this baby. Yeah, we're going to finish 150 paragraphs. I can't believe that he's lived in the Congo all his life and he's never tried a banana. All right. That's like living in Germany and never eating sausage. I mean, he must be a strange guy when it comes to eating. Okay. You know, I wrote these paragraphs, I think, in 1987, 35 years ago. And so I can't believe he's lived in the Congo all his life and he's never eaten a banana. He's never tried a banana. Can you imagine alguien que no ha probado en su vida un plátano? Y vive en el Congo. I can't believe that he's lived in the Congo all his life and he's never tried a banana. Yeah. That's like living in Germany and never eating sausage. Salchichas alemanas. Can you imagine living in Germany all your life? No, I've never tried sausage. Hamburgers, Nurembergers. There are a lot of different burgers there. All right. I like German sausage. Do you like German sausage? Yeah. Maybe once every 2 years I go to a German restaurant and have, sausage and, the typical varied, assorted sausage, sortido de salchichas alemanas. And it's good, with puré, with mashed potatoes or sour. I don't like chucrut. I don't like sauerkraut. No, you do. Marta likes sauerkraut. For the record is que conste en acta. On the record means you can publish what I'm going to say. Off the record means you can't publish what I'm going to say. But for the record is para que conste. For the record, Marta likes sauerkraut. Sour significa agrio. Sauerkraut. Sweet and sour sauce, sour. Chucrut, strange name, chucrut. Where do you get that name? It must come from French or something, or from the Alsace. But I like it. All right, I can't believe he's lived in the Congo all his life, and he's never tried, nunca probado, ni probado, ni mucho menos comido. He's never tried a banana. A banana. It's interesting, when I came to Spain, I learned the word plátano. I said, plátano? Why don't you say banana? I said, well, también decimos banana. But it's a different. Banana is from Latin America. Plátano is from the Canary Islands or something. I don't know. But in any case, I didn't know that. I studied Spanish for 6 years in the United States, and they never taught me the word plátano. They taught me banana. Okay, I can't believe that he's lived in the Congo all his life and never tried a banana. That's like living. Eso es como vivir. Eso es como vivir. That's like living in Germany and never eating sausage. That's like living in Asturias and never eating fabada. That's like living in Galicia and never eating tamborinas. That's like living in Seville and never drinking a Tío Pepe. Or that's like living in Seville and never eating pescadito frito. Okay. Or that's like living in Valencia and never trying paella. Can you imagine somebody who lives in Valencia all his life, or in Alicante, or in Castellón, and they've never tried paella? That's like living in Burgos and never trying morcilla de Burgos. It's interesting about morcilla de Burgos. By the way, morcilla in English is black pudding. Pudding negro. Black pudding. But people eat it in Great Britain and in Ireland. In the United States, no. When I speak to Americans or Canadians, I don't say black pudding, I say blood sausage, salchicha de sangre. Blood in there. I don't want to try it. Try it, it's delicious. But it's interesting because morcilla con arroz, black pudding with rice, is morcilla de Burgos, al estilo de Burgos, which is very strange. Because in that area of Castilla la Vieja, of old Castile, historically, there's no rice. The rice is in Valencia. You know, I would understand Morcilla Valenciana with rice, but not Morcilla de Burgos. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. ¿Cómo se dice no tiene sentido? It doesn't make sense. But in any case, that's like living in Mexico and never eating enchiladas. All right. Okay. I can't believe he's lived in the Congo all his life and has never tried. And he's never tried a banana. He's never tried a banana. That's like living in Germany and never eating sausage. He must be a strange guy. Conclusión lógica, debe de ser un tipo extraño. He must be a strange guy when it comes to eating. When it comes to. Cuando viene a comer? No, when he comes to eat. When he comes to eat es cuando él viene a comer. When it comes to eating, cuando se trata de comer. When it comes to es cuando se trata de. I finished. See you tomorrow.